I thought they were going to pull it out at the end there, Chris. I thought they were going to pull it out there at the end.
Felt like they had the magic, felt like it was going to happen.
Yep.
A few key mistakes, and here we are, another Super Bowl contending team that the Carolina Panthers could have beaten.
Yeah.
And that team wasn't the one that beat them. It was the Panthers beating themselves. Crazy.
Rough day at the office for a few. We'll dive into that. Let's get this sucker started.
Get dialed in, Panthers fans. Here comes an in-depth look at your team. Exclusive interviews. Locker room insight. Ready? Let's huddle up.
Let's just do it, okay?
For Panthers Playbook, driven by Carolina Ford Dealers. Here are your hosts, Dennis Cox and Chris Lea.
Welcome back to another episode of Panthers Playbook. That's Chris Lea, Dennis Cox here with you. Leave your thoughts on the 22-16 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles by the Carolina Panthers. But before we get into the breakdown, Chris, Carolina Ford Dealers is your sponsor of Panthers Playbook. With a Ford F-150 on your team, it's game on. See your Carolina Ford dealer today. Chris, rough day at the office for a few. Xavier Legette, bad day. Bad day for that young man. Bad day. Call it what it is.
Yeah, I mean, if we break down why the Carolina Panthers lost in this game, it has nothing to do with the Philadelphia, if I was going to call them Flyers, Philadelphia
Them
Eagles.
too.
I'm in hockey mode, but, the Flyers also couldn't have helped out anything at all. But Xavier Legette with some key crucial drops, especially the one that would have been a touchdown there at the end. Also, the operation, we've said this before when Bryce Young wasn't playing the best. Operation doesn't seem to go as smooth. We had some delay of game penalties. We had some times where the Carolina Panthers had to take some timeouts to save those delay of game penalties. So you got in a situation where late in the game where you probably needed at least one or two timeouts, you didn't have them because of the mismanagement of the clock early on. And then also just the one interception. I'm not mad about it, but we also said on the last podcast that Bryce Young is going to have some great moments, and he has some amazing moments in this game. I'm not taking anything from him at all. But he also threw the interception because that is just going to happen. Not upset with it, but if you whittle it down to the three reasons why this team lost, I think you can bring it to those three things right there. And and I think, not a negative thing, this is a step up for this team because for the last year and a half, since the beginning of last season, when they've gotten beat, they've been getting beat by just the other team just being far superior. Now you've gone against the Chiefs. You've gone against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Tampa Bay Bucks may not even make the playoffs, but, you gave that game away. And you're going against the Philadelphia Eagles. Two of those three teams has a really good chance of making it to the Super Bowl. And two of those three teams have been in the Super Bowl. Actually, all of those teams have been in the Super Bowl recently.
Yeah.
And you really had the opportunity to win those three games. Now we're at the point to where if the Panthers fix the little things, you're winning. It's the difference between your record now and having three more wins and being 6 and whatever it is right now.
Yeah, there are definitely some small things that definitely had a large impact.
6
I know
and
the
7.
drive
6 and 7.
Yeah, 6 and 7, which will probably put you at the top of the division right now.
Ooh.
But again, this is what a young team. I say young as in first year head coach, second year quarterback, a lot of young pieces that you're trying to build around. This is something that these are part of the growing pains.
Yeah.
These are part of the growing pains going through games like this. But on the drive where Chuba Hubbard scores a touchdown, makes it 16-14, Eddie Pinheiro, he missed left again. But anyway, besides that.
So I never bought into the most accurate kicker thing. Never bought into it.
But on that drive, you had to call a timeout to save a delay of game penalty. But then you also used the timeout on the challenge, which I thought Chuba Hubbard was in. On the challenge by Dave Canales, I looked and was like, oh, he's in.
It's another situation where the camera angles don't help you out.
Exactly. But I was like, but it looked like he was in. Yeah. Again, the whole thing has to be indisputable evidence and all that stuff. I actually thought it was a good challenge. I was like, wait, he is in.
Yeah.
But he ends up scoring on the next play anyway. So that burned 2 timeouts on that one drive right there. And then you used one late to kind of save the clock to put yourself in position to try and drive late in the game. But man, it would have been nice to have one more. For example, when Bryce Young scrambled on that final drive, picked up 3 yards, but doesn't get out of bounds, clock keeps ticking. So there were some few different things. And I also thought maybe it was on Cade Mays on some of this as well, in terms of like the delay of games and the late snaps, because you saw Bryce clapping his hands like,
let's
snap,
let's
go. And I don't know with K Mays, it's like, all right, well, there's a middle linebacker.
Could be loud in the link though.
Yeah. So that could be it as well. That could be also the problem as well. It's not all just on Bryce. Again, the guy's got to snap the ball too.
But a lot of it too is like, there may be some things with Kate Mays. We have the benefit of hearing it because of the microphones they use on the sideline, so we can hear it, right? Just because they're a couple yards away from each other, he may not even hear that because of just how loud it is in there. But then also, you look and it was consistently like that huddle is being broken around 8-7 seconds left in the play clock, right? Like, to me, I think you'd want to safely try to start lining up between 12 and 15, make all the shifts and adjustments that you need so you can still, get the playoff. And that was like a consistent thing. So, it may be a few on Caden Mays, but I'm wondering what's happening between Bryce Young and Dave Canales, not in a bad way, but how's the communication breaking down between you two? Because again, when Andy Dalton was in, and I'm not asking for Andy Dalton to come back in at all, but when Andy Dalton was in, we didn't have those issues. But I want to go back to this key moment as well.
All right.
Back to the interception. The game starts off slow, 4 punts in a row. Then the Panthers take the early lead. Philadelphia comes back, answers with the touchdown. Panthers answer with the touchdown. And then the defense gets a stop, a 3-and-out, right? And so then there's an amazing opportunity right here. That's where the interception comes in, and Philadelphia takes the lead. And essentially the Panthers took the lead a little bit later in the third. But essentially, that's kind of where I think the game kind of turned in Philly's favor, because then they scored the touchdown. There's only a few seconds left in the half, so the Panthers take the kneel down, and then Philly comes back in with a longer drive as they get the ball first in the third quarter. They didn't score there because they're having kicker issues as well with the missed field goal. But that could have been, an extra 3 for them. But that was an opportunity right there. And again, not upset with Bryce. These are learning opportunities. And these are, I love the fact I'd much rather him throw that interception right there down the field because he's being aggressive and he's trusting himself. He's trusting his receivers versus throwing interceptions behind the line of scrimmage to off of screen attempts, right? They go back for a pick six.
He trusted his wide receiver one, that's Adam Thielen. He kept going back. He kept going back to that, which, by the way, like Adam Thielen, dude,
Hey,
gutted
listen,
it out.
I think what's my man, JT O'Sullivan. I think JT O'Sullivan's actually going to like Adam Thielen this week.
Yeah, he should in this one. But on that pass to Thielen on the interception, the ball was just overthrown. It was just an overthrow by Bryce. Didn't see the safety coming over. It was an interception was bound to happen. It's the NFL.
Yeah,
it's going to happen. But Xavier Legette had a rough day today. Had some bad drops, including the one that Bryce threw on a perfect spot on a deep post. It's like, Legette, you got to come up with that ball. Like, that would have put you at least tied the game. Who knows what happened on the extra point? But at least you got to give yourself a chance. And Bryce put it right there for you. XL, make the play. There's I don't know if it was maybe that first drive of the game where that slant pass where the ball hit him in the chest and he got blown up by the safety, by Gardner Johnson, and ball got knocked down and he was kind of slow getting up. I don't know if that just gave him the yips for the rest of the game. I'm not entirely sure, but man, you think that your first round pick wide receiver would come up with a play or two. I know there was that one scramble on third down. Panthers were basically in their own end zone on that final drive where Bryce scrambled to his left and found the gap for that 30-yard completion. I was like, oh, okay. Awesome. Love to see it. But drop. And then they had another drop. It's like, dude, come on. Your first round pick. Make these plays, man. Make these plays. They're right there for you.
This is the first time where, for me now, I'm looking at, Xavier Legette with the side eye. There's been, we've seen a couple games so far in the past before this game where in key, crucial second half, third quarter, fourth quarter situations that he should have the ball and he doesn't end up having the ball, right? Yeah. Whether he's just simply just dropping it or he's got it and somehow or another it's just snatched from him. in certain situations from a
Yeah.
DB. And then in this case, like that could have been a potential game-winning touchdown. That touchdown would have actually tied the game. So then we're, counting on Eddie Pinheiro to hit the extra point, which isn't, a given these days. But, I would bet that would have happened. The extra point would have been hit. And so this is one of the things, like I'm not giving up on Xavier Legette at all.
No, neither am I.
I will say I like about him more than Jonathan Mingo is the fact that one, Xavier Legette gets open.
Yeah.
He's got the tools there. Like one of the knocks on him, one of the, question marks around him was, can he run the routes? He's been getting open. Clearly he can run the routes, right? Now he just has to take a Dave Canales word, finish. like it's really that simple. So in the offseason, you got to be on the jugs machine, bro. You got to have somebody on you, get a friend, have Jaycee Horn slap your arms a little bit as you're making these catches, and really like train yourself to really look in these catches, and so you can hold on to it and make these plays, because you were drafted at a key first round position. You're going to be counted on. Now, I do think I never thought that he was the number one or had the possibility of being a number one, maybe a 1A. But I think he could be a solid 2. I think the Carolina Panthers in the offseason definitely need to go find a wide receiver 1. But while we're here, you have a lot of opportunity to get better, bro. And I haven't given up on him. I don't think I'm close to giving up on him because the talent is there. He just has to commit himself to learning how to bring those balls in. Pause.
Major pause. You mentioned Jaycee Horn went out, growing injury, did not return. Jonathon Brooks, non-contact, just kind of goes down. I was just like,
same knee.
Yeah, I was like, not good. And Raheem Blackshear went down very beginning of the game too.
Yeah.
So they were down 2 of their running backs already. I mean, Chuba Hubbard played the whole freaking game basically. Like, props to you, young man. And you know what? He put some hard, tough running in today as well. Just 92 yards, but still 26 carries as well. Also caught a few passes, and overall, I thought he was pretty effective today. He had 30 total touches. He had 4 catches today as well. Had over 100 yards total. Had a touchdown. So I mean, had to put a lot on him just because you didn't have Brooks, you didn't have Blackshear to lean on during the course of this game. I was surprised that we didn't see more of Jadeveon Sanders.
I was just about to bring him up.
I was surprised we didn't see more of him. He only had 1 target today. I was like, you know what? I thought they were going to, hey, you can go no huddle. Don't necessarily go 2-minute in terms of tempo, but you can go no huddle and go 2 tight ends, so you can have the balance of, hey, we can run or pass out of any of these 2 tight end sets that you wanted to do out of 12 personnel. I'm surprised we didn't see that more. I was like, you can use Sanders and Tremble in this game and then have Legette and have Thielen out there along with Hubbard in the backfield. I thought we were going to see more of that. I don't know if the fact that all the running backs went down changed the game plan, but I was surprised we did not see Jadeveon Sanders featured in the passing game more than we did today. That was shocking to me.
If I'm taking a quick guess, because we're recording this as Dave Canales is talking post game, so maybe this is answered. But if I'm just taking a guess based off of his history, it feels like Dave Canales, when guys come in from an injury and they're coming back, that he kind of slow rolls them in.
Yeah,
it's almost like we just kind of want to get you back used to the game speed before we really put you in a situation where we're really putting everything on your shoulders. So I'm thinking maybe that's one of the things. Mark Sanchez called out something really good on the 1 target in the first quarter, I want to say it was, where he was wide open. Could have been a large gain for the Carolina Panthers, where he simply kind of stopped on the route and started backing up towards the ball. Like, if you just keep running and you just don't stop, I guess he just wasn't sure what Bryce Young was doing, but Bryce Young was trying to follow him where he was supposed to go and was going to hit him if he just would have kept running. And he was past the DBs and everything like that. And he just happens to turn around and starts backing up, and then it's over his head and he doesn't have it. So that's we're seeing some rookie mistakes from Legette, from Jadeveon Sanders. It's fine, though. I think those guys will be okay at the end of the day, right?
Sure.
But these are some of the growing pains we're gonna have to go through. We're going through some growing pains with the rookie head coach, who's also calling plays at the same time for only the second year of his career where he's calling plays. So there's some growing pains with everybody. The main thing is this team did not get the doors blown off of them. I thought that Saquon Barkley had a great game, but it could have been worse.
It could have been.
Could have been worse, and I'm glad that it was where it was, right? Like, I'll take it. If he's only going to get 124 yards, when I expected him to get 150 plus, all right, cool. You normally would not like to see 124, and also on 20 carries,
20 carries,
so 6.2 per carry. Yikes. I'm glad it wasn't worse. The defense stepped up and played. They got some sacks today. Shout outs to them.
Let's go.
Shout outs to the defense doing their job. For the most part, I still think the tackling could be a lot better. And there's definitely a lot to address in the offseason. But listen, there's not a lot of bad notes here. It's really like clock operation, figuring that out. Xavier Legette with the drops and the interception. That's what it comes down to. This is why they lost. Has nothing to do with anything that Philly did.
I will say this. I thought Carolina actually had a pretty good game plan going into this one. The Eagles only had 8 possessions in this game. I'm not counting the one where they took a knee at the very end. I'm not counting that. 8 real possessions in this game. That's it. Carolina had more time of possession. They were about 33 and a half minutes of time of possession. So about minutes more than what the Eagles had. They also ran a lot more plays total than what the Eagles had as well. Philadelphia only ran 56 plays. Carolina, 69. Nice. I like that. But the game plan I thought was because you limited the amount of opportunities where the Eagles could beat you in terms of just keeping them off the field. They controlled the game, I thought, in terms of tempo and just time of possession as a whole. I thought that was a good game plan going in. They shortened the game, and they gave themselves a chance to win it at the end. And you could say that they should have. Yeah. That's simple as that. But you know what? Like you said, Chris, growing pains. Growing pains for this team.
But this is still one of those.
But still growth.
This is still one of those encouraging signs, though. Like at the beginning of this year, when the Saints did what they did against our team, and when the Chargers did what they did against our team, you could not have told me that once we got here to December 8th, going against the Philadelphia Eagles, right, that that game would not look like that. Like. The Eagles, we've seen the Eagles like beat up on other teams that would probably be considered better than the Carolina Panthers. Yeah. And that's not what happened today. Shout outs to the Carolina Panthers for doing a really good job. And then Dave Canales, like, again, I don't want to pile on him. I think he's done a really good job. We talked about the clock operation, but outside of that, if you look at the 2 touchdown drives, on those 2 touchdown drives, they gave a steady run diet to Chuba Hubbard. And it's like, it works. It works. You have more yards than the Eagles. You had larger time of possession, as you pointed out. Yeah. Like, in all aspects, you should have and could have won this game. You lost the turnover battle. So that's one of the takeaways from that. Literally a takeaway. But man, Dave Canales stepping up. Great, game plan. Keeping the ball in your possession, running the ball. I wonder what it would have looked down. And they went forward on 4th down. I wonder what everything would have looked like if Jonathon Brooks didn't go down injured, because the first play of the game, you saw the 2-back set. And I was just like, okay, they're playing with something right now. They're working some stuff out with that. And I can't wait to see. Hopefully it's not too bad of an injury. If he has to be shut down for the rest of the year and we can just reconvene next year, cool. Can't wait to see what they're trying to work with on that 2-back set, because that's going to be amazing.
Time will tell. Didn't see Jalen Coker today dealing with the quad injury. So it's amazing how we thought, guys, hey, we're getting healthier. And then all of a sudden more injuries start happening once again. But such is life, Chris. Such is life. But you know what? Something you can always guarantee, something you can count on, is Carolina Ford dealer with a Ford F-150 on your team. Is game on. See your Carolina Ford dealer today. Chris, on to the next one.
All right. We'll see what happens. Cowboys next. Listen, I talked about teams that the Eagles beat that were considered to be better than the Panthers. They beat up on the Cowboys. I'm not going to take the transitive property, but if you do, right? Panthers should win next week.
Hey, you know what? Last time we did that,
let me hold off. Let me hold off.
Happened.
Let me hold off. Let me hold on.
That happened.
Okay.
We'll see you guys on Thursday.
But